All right, thank you everyone for coming tonight. We're about to start the award ceremony for the 2014 Tuckahoe Police Department's awards. I'd like everybody to please stand as we do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Please have a seat. As the patrol lieutenant for the Tuckahoe Police Department, I get to see day in and day out the efforts that the men and women put into their work on a daily basis. And I could just, I'd like to tell them how proud of them I am of the effort that they put in. And as you'll see with the calls we handled in 2014, there were some very good efforts made by the men and women of this department, which deserve a lot of praise. So again, I'm just very proud of them. I'd like to thank Mayor Eklund for attending tonight, as well as trustees Luisi and trustee Alfazi. We really appreciate you coming tonight and helping us celebrate the efforts of these officers. I'm going to call the officer up to the front, and then I will read a description of the incident, so you'll see why they're accepting the reward, and then they will accept the reward. Detective Weinstein, please come forward. On March 28, 2014, around 3:40 p.m., a local dentist called headquarters and reported that someone had apparently stolen a prescription pad from his office. The dentist advised that someone had attempted to get a prescription filled at Walgreens in New York City. Detective Weinstein began an investigation into the missing prescription pad and learned that the missing prescription pad was used to write fraudulent prescriptions in numerous jurisdictions, including Tuckahoe, Eastchester, and White Plains. Detective Weinstein traveled all over Westchester and New York City building his case. Detective Weinstein was able to get a picture of a suspect from a video taken at a pharmacy. He was then able to get an identity on the suspect and make an arrest. The suspect was the one responsible for stealing the prescription pad, and she was charged in several jurisdictions, as well as Tuckahoe, which resulted in a felony count. For his effort and performance of police duties in an outstanding and efficient manner, Detective Weinstein is awarded the department's Excellent Police Duty Award. Congratulations, Chuck. Okay, can I please have Sergeant Rhoda and Officer Coughlin? On June 23, 2014, around 4:35 a.m., the police department received a call about a suspicious male in the area of Wallace Street and Maynard Street. Sergeant Rhoda, Officer Yankowski, and Officer Coughlin responded and began a search of that area. The officers located a male in the Circuit Avenue Park and began to question him. During the course of the interview, the male was asked for identification. While getting his identification out, the officers noticed numerous credit cards and driver's licenses in the person's possession. One of the credit cards belonged to a resident of Wallace Street. An officer was sent to the Wallace Street address, and the owner of the credit card advised that he did not know the male that was being questioned. The resident stated that his credit card was supposed to be in his wallet inside his car. The resident then checked his car and advised that his wallet was empty and he was missing all of his credit cards. Sergeant Rhoda was advised of the findings, and the male was placed under arrest. The male was searched incident to arrest and was discovered to be in possession of many more credit cards that did not belong to him. Along with the credit cards were 3 Apple iPods and a Samsung phone that did not belong to the defendant. The defendant was brought back to headquarters and thoroughly searched. During that search, the defendant was found to be in possession of several hypodermic needles and 25 bags of what was later proven to be heroin. For their act of outstanding police duty, intelligently performed, demonstrating special faithfulness and performance of duty, Sergeant Rhoda, Officer Yankowski, and Officer Coughlin are awarded the department's Meritorious Police Duty Award. Congratulations. Officer Stephen Leone, please. On July 19th, 2014, Officer Steve Leone conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle on Midland Avenue. While interviewing the driver, Officer Leone noticed that the driver, who was from the Bronx, was very inconsistent answering questions. The driver was acting extremely nervous, began to sweat profusely, had shaking hands, and was breathing heavily. Officer Leone used his training and experience to further question the driver, who then admitted to having narcotics in his vehicle. The driver handed over to Officer Leone 5 clear Ziploc bags containing a white powdery substance. The driver was placed under arrest and the vehicle was impounded. The powder was tested and discovered to be cocaine and was found in enough quantity to constitute a felony charge. For his act of outstanding police duty intelligently performed, demonstrating special faithfulness and performance of duty, Officer Leone is awarded the department's Meritorious Police Duty Award. Congratulations. Detective Weinstein, please. All right, I've got 2 here for you, so I'll read them both and then you can accept them. Yeah. On October 10th, 2014, Detective Weinstein received a tip reporting that someone tried to obtain oxycodone and Xanax pills using fake prescriptions at a local pharmacy. Through his investigation, Detective Weinstein was able to identify a suspect. Detective Weinstein did several days of surveillance on the pharmacy and eventually observed the possible suspect enter the pharmacy. After the suspect retrieved possession of over 200 oxycodone and Xanax pills, Detective Weinstein made an arrest on the suspect. The suspect was taken into custody and charged with a C felony. For his effort and performance of police duties in an outstanding and efficient manner, Detective Weinstein is awarded the department's Excellent Police Duty Award. Congratulations. On October 19th, 2014, at around 9 a.m., a village resident called the police department to report his car was stolen overnight. Detective Weinstein took over the case and began to try and track the vehicle by using the Westchester County Intelligence Center resources. The Intel Center was able to tell Detective Weinstein that the vehicle's license plate was picked up several times in the Bronx by New York City Police Department license plate readers. Detective Weinstein began searching the areas where the license plate was picked up and located the vehicle. Detective Weinstein began surveillance on the vehicle, and around October 22nd, 2014, at around 11:30 a.m., Detective Weinstein observed the male enter the vehicle and begin to drive away. Detective Weinstein stopped the vehicle, and with Officer Santiago's help, the driver was arrested and the vehicle recovered and returned to its owner. For his effort and performance of police duties in an outstanding and efficient manner, Detective Weinstein is awarded the department's Excellent Police Duty Award. Congratulations, sir. Please come to the front. Officer Piasta, Officer Tecido, and Officer Santiago. On October 20th, 2014, at around 5:30 p.m., Officer Piasta, on bicycle patrol, was assigned to the Crestwood train station foot traffic post. While at his traffic post, Officer Piasta observed 3 males on the corner of Fisher Avenue and Columbus Avenue. The males were standing right outside of the Chase Bank and were repeatedly stepping in and out of the bank, nervously looking up and down the street, and looking into the bank through the outside windows. Officer Piasta thought their behavior was unusual and started to cross the street to interview the males. At this time, Officer Piasta called headquarters and requested other officers to respond to the scene. As Officer Piasta approached the males, he observed a large, clear plastic bag sticking out of the pocket of one of the males. Officer Piasta noticed that there were numerous colored pills in the plastic bag. Officer Piasta asked the male to stop and asked him what was in the bag in his pocket. At this time, Officer Tuckahoe arrived on the scene. The male pulled the bag out of his pocket and attempted to pass it to one of the males that was with him. That male put his hands up in the air and refused to take the bag. Officer Piasta grabbed the male with the bag as the other two males took off running. Officer Tuckahoe was able to immediately grab one of the males and place him in handcuffs. Officer Piasta handcuffed his suspect and radioed the description of the third suspect to Sergeant Batista and Officer Santiago. The third male had taken off running north on Columbus Avenue and was now out of sight. Officer Santiago and Sergeant Batista attempted to locate the third suspect, and a short time later, Officer Santiago observed a male matching Officer Piasta's description running through the backyards of several houses on Columbus Avenue. Officer Santiago gave chase and caught the male in the backyard of 308 Columbus Avenue. All three suspects were taken to headquarters, and the plastic bag was inventoried by Officer Piasta. The plastic bag contained over 110 pills of narcotics and numerous small baggies containing brown and white powders. The majority of the pills turned out to be OxyContin and oxycodone, and the powders tested positive for cocaine and the club drug MDMA. Because of the amount of illegal narcotics recovered, the suspects were all charged with a B felony. For his observations and act of outstanding police duty, intelligently performed, demonstrating special faithfulness and performance of duty, Officer Piasta is awarded the department's Meritorious Police Duty Award. For their acts of performance of routine police duties in an outstanding and efficient manner, Sergeant Batista, Officer Santiago, and Officer Tuckahoe are awarded the department's Excellent Police Duty Award. Congratulations, well done. Well done, Evan, well done. Officer Coughlin, please come up. Officer Francisco Valencia is also being honored with this award, but was unfortunately couldn't make it here tonight. On September 26, 2014, around 10:30 p.m., Sergeant Zerelnik received a 911 call for a possible domestic dispute at an apartment on Columbus Avenue near Fisher Avenue. Officer Valencia and Officer Coughlin responded. Upon a quick arrival, the officers encountered a male covered in blood walking away from the apartment's location. The officers approached the male and told him to stop. The male was yelling in Spanish, and Officer Valencia was able to communicate with the male and determine that he was a suspect in a crime. The male was quickly handcuffed and taken into custody, and the officers called for additional officers on the scene. Officer Valencia was able to learn that the male had a fight with his girlfriend and was able to get the girlfriend's location. The girlfriend's daughter then came up to the officers and stated that she was locked out of her apartment and she believes her mother was badly hurt. Officer Valencia stayed with the suspect while the other officers attempted to get into the apartment. Police officers Coughlin and D'Agostino were informed that a female who was the victim of a brutal knife attack was in the third-floor apartment. The officers attempted to access the building but were locked out. The officers obtained breaching tools and forcibly opened the locked common entrance leading to the stairwell. Following a trail of blood, the officers raced up the stairs to the third floor where they found the victim's door was locked. Again, using force, the officers breached the apartment door. The victim was found semi-conscious and bleeding profusely. She had received multiple knife wounds, including life-threatening wounds to her neck. The officers immediately applied pressure to the neck wound and administered first aid until the arrival of emergency personnel. The victim was transported to an urgent trauma center. Her injuries required emergency surgery as well as over 500 sutures to close her wounds. Doctors reported that the wound to the victim's neck was within 2 millimeters of severing the carotid artery, and she was within moments of suffering a lethal loss of blood. The quick and decisive actions of the officers to locate the victim and the prompt application of medical aid undoubtedly saved her life. For their act of exceptional police work performed intelligently and in the line of duty, Officer Valencia and Officer Coughlin are awarded the department's Exceptional Merit Award. Well done. Congratulations. Great job. Okay, the last award, unfortunately, the officers weren't here to be with us tonight, but definitely deserves to be read and acknowledged. On Thursday, June 19th, 2014, Sergeant Batista and Police Officer Kennedy responded to a call of a single motor vehicle accident on the Bronx River Parkway at Scarsdale Road. It was reported the vehicle had left the roadway and had struck a tree. The officers arrived at the scene and found the wreckage of a heavily damaged vehicle which was impaled to a tree and was on fire. Stopped motorists were yelling that the operator was still in the burning vehicle. The officers quickly removed the operator, using care to maintain his C-spine, and brought him to safety. The officers provided first aid until the arrival of emergency medical services, and the operator had suffered serious injuries. The officers acted quickly and intelligently, without regard to their own personal safety, to remove the victim from the burning vehicle. Their application of medical aid stabilized the victim and prevented further injury. For these heroic efforts, Sergeant Abelardo Batista and Police Officer James Kennedy are hereby awarded the department's Exceptional Merit Award. And I would just like, please, a round of applause for them. Okay, at this time, I'm going to ask that Chief Costanzo please come to the podium.
Thank you very much. To all the family members and friends that are here in support of the police officers, we thank you. It's a very proud day, not only for the individual officers, to the family members, friends, and particularly to the police department. As head of the department, I take great pride in the outstanding efforts of our men and women every single day. This has certainly been a very difficult year for law enforcement. We've been under the scrutiny of the public and the media, and when we come and we see the outstanding efforts of these fine police officers, and not just the outstanding and heroic efforts that some of the things that were depicted tonight, but their compassionate policing, their community policing, what they do for our residents on a daily basis is worthy of praise, and I am so very thankful for those efforts. Over the course of the year, it's worth noting, we receive letters all the time, people thanking us for the littlest things. Sometimes it's just getting their keys out of the sewer drain, or helping locate their dog, or finding a lost child, and those are the things that inspire us and help us get along. I want to mention that two of our churches this past year, following the incident in Ferguson, when there was a lot of turmoil and a lot of negative things said about policing, Shiloh Baptist Church as well as the Emmanuel AME Church had a recognition and program for law enforcement, and the kind words that were said at those ceremonies were really taken to heart. And I just want to note that because, again, at times when people were really coming out and bashing law enforcement in general, these two organizations, these churches came together and said, no, we appreciate what the police do and we want to honor their efforts. So thank you to Reverend Michael Gerald and Reverend Cosmas Bonaparte from those two churches. It's also worth noting tonight that three of our recipients, Officer Dan Coughlin, Sergeant A. Batista, and Police Officer James Kennedy, will also be recognized on a county level on Thursday at an award ceremony there. Very difficult to be recognized at that level. It's very prominent, and we are certainly very proud that those three officers are going to be honored at the county award ceremony this next Thursday. So again, thank you to every member of the police department for your efforts, And if you would bear with me one moment, I just want to take some time. Usually at this time in the program, we honor a group. We give a unit citation. And it's usually been the emergency response unit, which is our tactical unit. It has been our DARE officers in the past. It's been our bicycle unit. It's been our child safety seat unit. And this year, we thought it was so very fitting to move away from that just this one year, take exception and honor a member for her leadership role in this police department. So what we have done is we're going to honor Lieutenant Margaret Bellis for her role in her leadership in our youth programs. Our youth programs have been at the forefront, really, in not only Westchester County, but in New York State. In the early 70s, then Detective Jerry Leone was appointed one of the first youth officers in New York State, and he later became chief, and it was always a pet project of his to make sure that our youth were well taken care of. And when I became chief, I certainly wanted to try to expand on the great strides that were made by Chief Leone. And what I was very fortunate to have is somebody to rely on, somebody to take a leadership role, and that person was Margaret Bellis. When I first started to dream, quite frankly, of starting a cadet program, she came to me and said, "This is the way to do it, Chief. There's something called Explorers. It's an Explorer program, and we're going to look into getting affiliated with the Boy Scouts and start an Explorer program." And it was her passion and her leadership, really, that got that program off the ground. And to me, it's one of the finest things that I've accomplished as chief, is having an Explorer program. Many of our Explorers have gone on to careers in law enforcement. We're fortunate to hire one of our first, Danny Coughlin, to become a Tuckahoe police officer. So it's a great source of pride for me. And one of the other things certainly is that we've started an internship program, and what we do is we get high school and college students who have an interest in law enforcement to come in and intern with the Tuckahoe Police Department. And high school students and particularly the college students are given meaningful tasks. They're not just stuck in a file room and told to count how many reports we had for the year. But they're involved in our accreditation program. They're involved in some of our community outreach programs, and they're really learning. And the passion of Lieutenant Bellis is rubbing off on them. And again, so fortunate that many of them have gone on to careers, not just in the New York metropolitan area, but people who've studied here locally and have lived as far away as Atlanta, Georgia, are now involved in law enforcement. And I think their passion, anyway, came in a large part from Lieutenant Bellis, so we're thankful for that. And then I think any good leader is a good teacher. And what she did is she took some of our finest officers, Andrew Zarolnik, Steve Leone, Christopher Santiago, and most recently Evan Piazza, and took her under her wing and said, I'm not going to be here forever, but I'm going to put in place a program that's going to be sustainable for a very long time. And these fine officers, we hope, and we're going to demand, they take over what she has left them and carry the torch. So at this time, I'd like to ask our youth officers, as well as all of our explorers, to please come up and for this presentation.
So on behalf of the Tuckahoe Police Department, Chief Costanzo, and our youth division, the plaque is presented to Lieutenant Margaret Bellis for excellence in leadership commendation, awarded to Lieutenant Bellis for her outstanding leadership in the Tuckahoe Police Department's youth programs. You're an inspiration to so many, presented by the Chief and the members of our department.
say something. You guys are killing me. As I was standing there, so many things were going through my mind. This is my last official ceremony. It is an honor to stand before you today and to stand with this group. I thank you to the chief for believing in me, to give me the opportunity to be a leader, and to the village for believing in me to make that promotion. But I thank the people that I lead for making me a leader. You can give me a shirt, you could give me a uniform, but that doesn't make you a leader. Nobody's following you, you're not a leader. And I believe in the programs and to the children that give their heart and soul and come here every week and take value from what they teach you and go out. It's not easy. It's not easy to be a teenager today and to come here and hang out with the police, and especially in today's society when it's so easy to be a target and a mark. When I thought about, there's so many things as I go on these days and weeks leading up till my final day of work, but the things that I'm most proud of are the things that nobody will ever see. And those are the emails from kids, from teenagers, from people who've reached out for the programs that we believe were in every single school. So again, this is just something, I couldn't do any of that, and we wouldn't achieve any of that without all of you. So this award is for all the men and women that I work with. And it's going to be really hard to leave this family, but I'll never be too far. And to the kids, I will always be here. I'm not going anywhere. And I challenge you to succeed, and I challenge you to achieve things that you even couldn't dream possible. So thank you so much. This is the award that I thought that they were originally going to call me up to read. And this award is the Officer Recognition Award for Outstanding Officer. And unfortunately, Officer Amelia Yankowski couldn't be with us tonight, but this certainly is one of our biggest awards, and I'm going to read to you why she was selected. The Tuckahoe Police Department's Officer Recognition Award for Outstanding Officer is given once a year to recognize patrol officers for their outstanding work within their positions. The nominees had to be dedicated to their job, the department, and to the village of Tuckahoe. The officer must have demonstrated consistent professional performance at an exceptional level, be a team leader, possess solid character, along with a work ethic in sync with the definition of our department's mission statement, to protect the quality of life in partnership with those that we serve. The recipient of the Officer Recognition Award for Outstanding Service for the time period of January 2014 to December 2014 is Officer Amelia Yankowski. Officer Yankowski has consistently demonstrated an exceptional level of professionalism and dedication to the Tuckahoe Police Department, to the village, and to the residents of the community. Her willingness to go above and beyond the call of duty is just one of the reasons that she is such an asset to our department. She is an active member of the police department and is the e-justice TAC coordinator. She most recently has been assigned as the accreditation program manager. Officer Yankowski has always participated in community outreach events for our department and does so with a positive and cheerful attitude. She has been with the Tuckahoe Police Department since August of 2004, and she has always taken any task given to her and committed herself to its successful completion. Officer Yankowski actively engages in our community policing philosophy, which is evident in the relationships that she has built with the residents. She is dependable and accepts all of the added responsibilities bestowed upon her in a willing and positive manner. Congratulations to her on this achievement.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call Mayor Eklund up for some remarks, and then we'll be closing out the ceremony.
Thank you, Ray. And I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. You know, every year I say the same thing. It's incredible when I sit here and I listen to the stories of courage and heroism that our department displays on a daily basis. It truly, I mean, these are things that, you know, we're not aware of on a daily basis, but to actually hear it in summary form here each year is very, very impressive. And it's why I am very proud to be the mayor of Tuckahoe. I'm very proud to go ahead and work with my colleagues on the board, two of which are here tonight, in making sure that we give you the proper tools, the funding that you need to go ahead and perform your job safely for yourself and for me, my family, and everyone else who lives in this community. So on behalf of the entire village board, I want to congratulate you all for your letters of commendation that you've received. I want to especially congratulate Emily, who I was very fortunate to actually hire when I was fairly new on this village board. And just a quick to say to Peggy, because I don't want to bring a tear to her eye, but she knows how much we're going to really miss her. So thank you so much for everything you've done. You've been a huge asset to the village. So thank you all for coming tonight.
Okay, and that concludes our ceremony. Again, I would like to especially thank Mayor Eklund, Trustee Luisi, Trustee Alfazi, and the rest of the board for the support that they give the police department. And to the men and women of the Tuckahoe Police Department, I know they're going to strive to serve the residents of Tuckahoe with compassion, pride, and dignity. They will continue to do a good job, I'm sure. I'd like to thank everybody for family and friends for responding tonight, coming tonight, and sharing with our award ceremony. All right. Chief Costanzo, thank you very much again, too. And that concludes our ceremony. Thank you.